Thank you for listening to episode 1 of the Modern Cannabists. This is the introduction episode with Jerry, Troy, and Austyn. This is the podcast that's going to present a contemporary slice of the cannabis culture without all the overplayed stoner cliches and without all the smoke. And, you know, we're not all cheeches and chunks, and there's more to cannabis than joints and bongs. We really want to expose and evangelize a more modern glimpse of the ganja life. My name is Troy. I'm from 420vapezone.com. I recently quit my job to pursue my passion of a dry herb vape reviewer on the internet. I'm a cannabis consumer all day, every day, and I don't smoke. I've got a bunch of vapes in my collection, and I'm really passionate about them. Several of those vapes were made by my co-host here, Mr. Austyn Simrell of the Simrell Collection. Austyn, what can you tell us about yourself?
Hey, everybody. I hope all is well. My name is Austyn Simrell. I'm the founder of the Simrell Collection. You can find some of my stuff on Instagram at Simrell Collection, or you can check out my website, www.simrellcollection.com. I'm actually a woodworker. I've been woodworking for the past 10 years. I'm brand new into the space. I just got into the space about a little over a year ago, and I specialize in down aftermarket accessories. That's what kind of introduced me into the vape space. Then I started growing my collection and wanting to learn more about the space. And that's kind of one reason why I really want to do something like this with my co-hosts here, Troy and Jerry. They have more knowledge in the vape space, and I hope to ask questions that you guys might want to know the answer to, since I can almost reach out and touch these guys.
You are a curious one, you know. You ask a lot of questions. You ask a lot of good questions.
I try to, man. I don't think any question is a dumb question, right? Because I'm thinking that if I'm going to ask a question, it's because I don't know the answer. So I'm trying to learn, right? So then if somebody asks me that question, I can answer it. So that's what I'm hoping to do throughout this whole podcast in regards to learning about more about the space, different vaporizers and how to use them, etc. So that's a little bit about me. Jerry, what about you, my friend? Let's tell these viewers what you're all about.
Hey, thanks, Austyn. Appreciate it, buddy. I've been vaporizing for about a dozen years-ish. Started out as the first member on fuckcombustion.com. We call it FC all the time, back around 2008. Moderated that site for about 5 years. I was the first mod there for a while, and then wanted to get out of my day job and more into the industry and wasn't sure how. And after a lot of advice seeking, decided to get into some retailing and did something called the Vapor Concierge for a while, where I was selling vapes online to members of the forum and doing some consulting to get to the right one. I had a blast doing that. And
I remember that. I remember those days.
Yeah, man, it was fun, man. FC was small back then too. So it was we were a tight community and still are, but it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun, man. Probably about 4 years ago, I started doing some work for Planet of the Vapes, planetofvapes.com, an online retailer. I had already been doing some drop shipping with them and really got along well with the owner. And we had a similar vision for what we wanted to do for the market, which is get the right vape to the right person. And so it was easy for us to work together. And for about 4 years now, I've been going to shows and beating up vapes and writing about them and beta testing and doing whatever I can really for the market overall when it comes to just testing vapes and trying to get the word out about them. You know, I just want to give people a straight answer about vapes. I want them to hear the good and the bad so that they know what they're getting into. They all got bad. There's not a perfect vape, so let's just talk straight up about them. It's one of the main reasons why I was drawn to kind of to do this podcast with you, Troy, is you clearly have that same desire to no bullshit the vape scene with what you think of the vapes, and I admire that, man. I'm stoked to be doing this kind of stuff with you.
Right. So you said you've been vaping for 12 years, 15 years?
No, about 12. I mean, 08, whether it was the beginning or end, I don't know. What are we in, 19 now, towards the end of 19? So yeah, probably about 12 years been vaping.
That's a long time. So you've seen vaporizers change drastically in the last 10 years. Austyn, how long have you been vaping, Austyn?
So I've only been vaping for a little over a year now. I found out about it, man, when I was like 14, 15 with the Magic Flight launch box.
Right.
And then obviously the OG Volcano. But I never really got hip with them just because I think my buddy who had them didn't really even know how to use it properly. So it was just a lack of knowledge. And, I just continued to combust with blunts and joints and bowls and bongs, like almost everybody else does. right now until I found this glorious fucking space of magic that I can't wait to show more and more people.
Yeah, we should clarify before we get too deep. We keep throwing around the word vaping, and especially right now, there's so much negative press around the word vaping in the media because of the THC carts and the jewel pods and all of the toxic metals. What we're talking about with vaping is an entirely different world. We are literally vaping the dry herb, the cannabis leaves, the flowers. It's not processed. It's not extracted. It's not liquefied in little Chinese containers. We're taking the plant in its purest organic form and only getting the good shit, leaving out the carcinogens and the tar and the negative shit from the smoke. We're only getting the good stuff with the dry herb vapes. And there's a lot of different dry herb vapes on the market. And they have come a long way in the last 5 to 8 years, really is kind of like the sweet spot, in my opinion. What would you say about that, Jerry?
Yeah, I've seen that kind of story come and go over the years where something will happen in the e-cig world and get reported as vaping, and people who don't know much about it assume that's any kind of vaporizer, whether it's a dry herb vaporizer that we all use all the time, or whether it's a dab tool or some kind of concentrate vaporizer. But invariably, it's always some e-cig. And recently, there've been some things with THC carts, but it turns out those are more kind of bootleg carts. And, there's a lot of scary stuff out there. Like I had somebody send me recently some samples of some products, and then there was some samples of packaging. And I wish I had them right here. I could show you, but I mean, you can just buy packaging and stick any pin you want it and in there. And as soon as you seal it up, it looks like that's what you're. And so I don't care if it's even got a package. You just don't know what you're getting when you're buying stuff, from who knows where. And that's what is always happening. It's never the mainstream stuff that you and I are dealing with. It's always somebody with a bad battery, somebody with an e-cig, or somebody with some bootleg product.
Yeah, and all those carts and the fake cartridges, and who knows what you're getting from where. And it is so easy to counterfeit. You can literally search DHgate for dank carts or Mario carts or cookies, and just literally just buy pre-branded cartridges and packaging material. It's so unregulated. It's so freaky. Like I've been trying to completely lean away from the cartridges and only stick to straight up dabs and dry herb.
I found out about that. That's one of my most modern vaping experiences were those cartridge pens. I would use them, but they're it's not like it's not complete. It's not a complete feeling. It's a half-assed feeling. It's not very fulfilling, if you will. And it scares me because if you put this cartridge next to this cartridge, they're both fucking yellow. That's all I could tell you. But if I look at some flower, I can fucking tell, one, what the fuck I'm getting, and two, I can normally tell, okay, is this fire or is this mid-grade or is this low-grade or whatever. And I know what I'm putting in to my vaporizer to extract. With those cartridges, you fucking don't. And in California, they just did research and they found metal inside of those things. There's traces of metal in there. And then even more, they were finding even more shit because they're actually bringing the carcinogens above their temperature rating, and it's releasing off even more fucking toxins. So it's still a shit way to vape. That's why I'm glad that we're starting this thing, because we can really open up new doors to everybody who enjoys the same experiences that we do on a daily fucking basis in a healthier alternative way that's much more effective and efficient than any other fucking delivery system I've ever known about.
So true, man. So true. And dry herb vapes themselves tend to be stuck in this little hidden corner because the people that are willing to vape only know about the cartridges, and the rest of the people carry around this negative social stigma about vaporizing. Like, oh, vaping is douchey. I don't want to be stupid. Like, why don't you just smoke a joint? People are not very receptive to vaping, and the reasons for rejecting it are rarely rational.
Yeah, usually, the bad press for around the e-cigs, and it's pretty bad press when you start talking about people's kids and stuff. So I mean, it can be something that kind of gets some some unfair stigma from a side, kind of a side lane over there. So yeah, I hear you on that big time. Austyn mentioned his experience with concentrates, and for as long as I've been vaping, I've always described that deficiency is just not quite as full bodied as flower. Like I like vaping flower, I get the full bodied effect. And with concentrates, I've never really gotten that. Now, I've always been in Florida, which until only a couple of years ago did I have access to good legal concentrates that were really, quality. So I would say that's been my lean. But I know, Troy, you've told me that these days that's not necessarily the case when you're in your state over there.
That's it, full spectrum.
Yeah. There are concentrates that I can acquire that are more full spectrum that can provide bigger and deeper effects. But on that same note, the concentrate high is still very different than smoking or even vaping dry flower. The concentrate high is usually more heady. Like even if you do have a body high, you can feel it literally in your scalp, in your face. Like you get a good dab that makes your face feel like it's melting off your skull.
I've seen you take those on your videos, man. I love it every time. It's funny. You literally just did the visual of you doing that dab.
That's insane.
We're going to do that later tonight, probably. We'll see.
That's insane, man. So Troy, let me ask you this. Why do you vape now? I mean, what got you into vaping other than just trying to review vaporizers?
Oh man, that's a great question. I mean, I had always been a cannabis lover. I mean, as a youth, I was very passionate about weed, and smoking with my friends was always the best times. But fast forward to becoming more of an adult, and in the recent years, I started medicinal cannabis for ADHD, but I didn't want to have the smell, because pot smoke smells.
Oh man, it stinks.
Bad.
Yeah, if you got some fire, everybody around you knows it.
Yeah, and the smell that the shit leaves on your clothes, and just having ashtrays around, and like the roaches, like the little burnt joints. For some reason, those things have always disgusted me.
Really? I used to save those bitches.
I recently saw this picture on Facebook of all places, because that's where the best stoner people hang out. This person was taking the little roaches and taking the paper, and they had covered their Bic lighter with it to the point where it was like a Bic lighter covered with roach paper. And I could just imagine the feeling and the smell that it would have and that it would leave behind on your hand. Oh God,
Listen,
just throw it away.
The only way I used to save roaches was back in the day when I was younger. Okay, I had no money, and I knew that I would smoke a roach down to about an inch, and then I'm going to save all of them from all of my previously rolled items. And then when I run out of fucking product, I'm going to break them all down and then roll up my leftovers as like my last my fucking what you call it, my backups, right?
Yeah.
And then that was like usually fucking disgusting as fuck, but always got you like super 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 faded. That's the only reason I could see to keep them. But to fucking wrap your lighter, that's disgusting.
Seeing people with jars of roaches is so disgusting to me right now. But then again, from an outsider looking in, as a vaporist, I recently had 450 grams of ABV of vaped weed, of spent weed in these big peanut butter jars.
That's amazing, man.
That's also kind of weird. But that's the thing about vaping. You have that leftover weed.
Troy, let's tell the viewers what ABV is.
When you vape cannabis with the dry herb vaporizer, you extract about 70% of the THC and cannabinoids. When you smoke, you're only getting like 20%, maybe 25%.
But you're destroying all the rest. When you smoke.
Yeah, when you smoke, you're burning it all up. Yeah. When you vape, you're getting almost all of it. But there's some that's left behind, and the stuff that's left behind is this brown. It's not ash. It looks
like tobacco. It looks like tobacco.
It looks like tobacco.
Yeah,
it doesn't smell
a nice rich brown, and it doesn't stink very bad.
Yeah, so all the really good, all the trikes have been vaped off, all the good flavors have been vaped off, but there's still THC, there's still cannabinoids, there's still medicinal value in there, and you can extract it. You can actually eat it and get high from it once you save up enough. Like a couple tablespoons of this will make you go night-night for a while. That's one of the benefits of dryer vapes is when you vape your weed is still usable. You get high from it twice.
Dude, that's what's so fucking awesome about this thing, dude. Not only is it more efficient, so you use less material, but the fucking material that you use, you can save to then again make another fucking product to use it. That is just so fucking awesome.
That's mind blowing, isn't it? Jerry, what's the most mind blowing thing for vaping for you? Like I know what yours is. Tell the world.
Yeah, I mean, I can think of a half a dozen reasons off the top of my head that it's good for, but probably my top two. The one I started with was when I came back around to cannabis as an adult and realized that this was something I wanted to have as a regular part of my life. I didn't like what it was doing to my lungs. I rarely rolled a J. I was always doing bongs and making sure I had some kind of water filtration and doing everything I could to smoke healthy, and knew nothing about vaporizing. And as soon as I heard about a vaporizer and tried one, I was like, shit, that's what I want, because I don't want to fuck up my lungs. I mean, I want to be regular, but I don't want to screw up my body. That's not my style. So I started vaporizing. I was always coughing up black stuff the next morning from smoking. But when I started vaporizing, THC is a natural expectorant. And so I naturally started coughing up this junk. And after about 2 weeks, I had no more black stuff. And then and I was just coughing up yellow stuff. And then when I started vaping through water, I got to where I wouldn't even cough the next day. It was fantastic. So that was my number one reason. And then by the time I got hooked from that, I'd been vaping for a month and realized that I was only going through half the weed and was saving money. So those things have me hooked right off the bat, man.
Yeah, that's what I thought you were going to say. I'm surprised by the lung thing, but the lung thing is absolutely true. Like your lungs are so much healthier, but like the amount of weed that you save. When I first started vaping, I was blown away. I was only going through an eighth every month.
Yeah. And you were probably going through what before, like maybe at least a quarter, maybe 3/8. I mean, I went from a half ounce a month to a quarter of a month instantly.
If I was smoking and I wasn't getting high every day, an eighth would last me a week, which is basically a weekend.
Right.
Which is like
exactly
Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Right on.
If that.
I can have material last me quite a long time because I personally use it to like wind down during the day, kind of clear my mind up. And now I've really been trying to explore more of the different extractions that you can get with different temperatures that we'll talk about later.
That's a fantastic journey.
Just trying to learn more about vaporizing itself and the effects that it has. And like you, man, I got ADHD. My mind never stops. My mind just continuously wants to create and make things. And I come up with ideas all the fucking time. And at nighttime, running my Vortex, or my Mighty, at high temps, and just really relaxing and getting ready to try to wind down and go to bed. And it's, that and melatonin is kind of the only thing that really helps me.
Do you vape a lot of CBD? Do you vape CBD flower?
Yeah, I vape a lot of CBD. I like to, the best CBD I found actually was Cascadia Blooms. And I learned, I got turned on that through you. We can use your code 420 Vape Zone.
Right on.
Save you 20%.
Yeah.
What's cool about Cascadia Blooms is they only serve up the hemp tops.
Yeah. Yeah. So it looks so good.
Yeah. So like they could, like a lot of the other places, grow outdoor and they just take all the buds from the hemp plant, but Cascadia is the tops.
Yeah. So I bought an ounce of Lifter. This stuff gets me pretty energetic, which is nice for things like this. And plus I can vape it throughout the day, because like I got ADHD, like I said, and if I do vape the other material, it could get me sidetracked. I want to fucking make something brand new. I won't get shit done throughout the day, but the Lifter can actually work as my energy drink and give me a little more energy. Now, you do have to vape 2, 3, 4 bowls of like maybe in the Vortex, or one full bowl out of the Mighty at maybe 400 to really get everything out of it. But still. It still
tastes great.
Oh, it's so fucking good. And I mean, fuck, 4 bowls out of the Dynavap tip is like fucking less than half a gram, I think, isn't it? But yeah, it's less than half a gram of fucking material, and you can vape that throughout the day if you wanted to.
And that Cascadia CBD hemp is legal in all 50 states.
All 50 states.
And 100%. it's more dank than the weed that I grew up on in Illinois. that I found,
so funny. The only thing is that you just don't get the psychoactive effects. But I tell you what, it is the most effective CBD that I've ever had, compared to like the tinctures. That to me, like, I don't know, man. How can you really compare one tincture to another tincture to another tincture? They all look the fucking same. To me, it's just like the cartridges for the vape pens.
I never had a lot of luck with those CBD oil pens either. Like there was times where some of those CBD oil pens would make me sleepy, or they would make me like focused, like a little energetic. But I never felt like I was getting the full effect. Like when I vape CBD flower, I feel like I am a more capable person than I was before I vape the CBD flower. Like I feel my anxiety is lifted, or
oh man, it's so great for anxiety.
Yeah, like I vape CBD before I call my parents, so I can talk to my parents and feel comfortable.
Dude, that's legit. I know people who do that too. And these days, there's a lot of kids with anxiety. I mean, this society really does a good job of fucking people up.
The society we built is raising anxious kids, I think.
Yeah. So, and I saw something the other day that was talking about how, we figured out, the CBD receptors are an important part of the way our body communicates for healing and all kinds of shit. And we have created a society that's deficient. And I'm just like, of course, man.
Yeah.
Of course we have. So, right on. You mentioned doing 4 bowls up there, Austyn. And, when I started vaping, it was all desktops. So when I had to vaporize, I had to go like into my bedroom or my office, wherever the damn thing was set up, and just kind of, go away from everybody and go do my thing and then come back. And I was using one of these log vapes for a long time. And log vapes have a bowl that's about Dynavap size. And I really liked it. It kept me efficient. It kept me dosing, kept me near that 1/4 ounce a month kind of line. And then it got to the point, though, where my tolerance got to where, and it was still nothing that we're going through. But when my tolerance got to where I was needing to go through about 3 or 4 bowls each trip, at that point, I was like taking 20, 30 minutes to do that shit. And I'm like, this is not going to work. So I started looking for stuff for bigger bowls. But at the end of the day, we didn't have any good portables. And it's interesting that, I'm sitting here watching you guys vaporize on a Mighty, and you're pulling out the sticky brick now. And then you've got the VAP cap with the induction heater. And all of these vapes I have now, and they're fantastic, and they get me out of the bedroom or wherever. They liberate you, and so you can be more with people, and I like that we finally can bring it out of the closets and into our normal lives, if that makes sense.
Yeah, man. You know what's really awesome for me with the Dynavap, whatever model you have, is you can simply put that bitch in a fucking old school dugout like this, or any other forms of transportation. Simply put that shit in your pocket, go somewhere where people are going to sesh, pull that motherfucker out, let people try that thing. The expressions that I get out of people, they try it, they love the flavor, then they go back, they roll their joint, and I love watching their faces after they hit the joint from trying the vaporizer, because joints are really the best flavored for rolled products other than like blunts and shit, because it doesn't have that crazy paper that you're burning.
Well, plus a joint is actually kind of a vaporizer too.
What the fuck? What you mean? Hit me with it.
You have a tube of marijuanas,
yes,
and a cherry on the end, and the smoke is going through the tube of fresh greens, and that smoke is hot. So you're essentially convection vaporizing the weed that's right next to the cherry from radiant and convection.
I 1000% have never put those 2 and 2 together until right now. That's pretty.
That's why joints technically can get you higher, because you're also vaporizing.
I mean, the same thing with the blunt, though, right? The blunt does the same shit.
A blunt would do the same thing.
It's
but
just
a blunt, you're vaporizing tobacco too. Yeah.
No tobacco. Just the paper.
I'm lost.
So Jerry, you kind of transitioned. When you started the vape scene, you kind of had to use a desktop to get the powerful hits. Like all the portables were a bitch. Like the Magic Flight lunchbox was, you had to it was like riding a unicycle. So you had to use a desktop, and that's evolved. What vapes are you using now? Like, what are your most used vapes nowadays?
I've been using the Volcano a lot, the Volcano Hybrid in particularly. We had some health issues around here that really required some really strong vapor that I needed to deliver instead of, have somebody come up to the vape station. And the Volcano was something that I could consistently dose. I mean, I knew, I know what I'm putting in. The fan's always consistent. I mean, you really can. You can just dial in. Once you've nailed it, you've nailed it. So that was perfect for what we've been trying to get through. And so I've been using that a lot. But when I'm vaporizing for me, almost all the times it's a desktop, and it's usually I've got the herborizer over here that I love. I'll be beating that up here tonight, and that's the one. Your mic is off. That's the one that is dope. It's my fave.
Thanks. So you are still primarily a desktop man.
Yeah, I mean, I do a lot of portables, mostly in my testing, and so obviously I don't do the desktops as much as I'd like because I'm doing a lot of testing. I mean, you know how it goes. As many portables are out there, you could just live off those things, and some of them are good enough to do that with. I mean, most of them, in my opinion, aren't, but there are some that are. So, but no, I haven't found anything compared to my herborizer.
Nice. I love the Volcano Hybrid as well, and I've been using that a lot more than any other desktop, to be honest. But I still really like the freedom of a portable. And I think it has a lot to do with just my workspace and how I like things to be not attached. Like I want my mouse to be attached. I want my keyboard to be attached. And other than that, I want to be able to like just wipe everything off my desk and have the space.
Yeah. I mean, it's easy for me because I was vaping when that's all there was. You just kind of accepted it. And, they were big. They still are. They take space. And you had to have a station for them. And so I basically, for 12 years, have had some kind of space dedicated to at least a vaporizer. And after a while, it became a drawer, and then it became a bookcase, and now it's become this whole fucking room. But yeah, they take up space. Now, if I'd started today on portables and I was satisfied with that, shoot, man, I'd probably get me a Mighty and a couple others and call it a day. But you know how?
Hello.
Yeah, man. The more you vape, you build up your tolerance. You want more. And the bottom line is, if you get to where you want more, you're not going to be on the portables. You're going to grab a desktop.
Right. I also think, well, you suffer from, you have to do all the testing because Planet of the Vapes and myself, I have to review all these different vaporizers and constantly be comparing them and answering questions about them. So it's interesting how we both have usage patterns around our jobs. Yeah. Austyn, you have this exact same thing. You make accessories for Dynavap.
Right. Man, I run my products all the fucking time. One, for science, and two, because I love them. And that's actually what really got me started to vape, was because I actually made my first aftermarket body for Dynavap before I even ever tried it. I made them, I sold a couple of them, and then I'm like, okay, what the fuck is this thing? Because this thing started really happening, and I tried it, man. I tried it for the first fucking time, and I swear to God, it's the future. I just hit it, and I'm like, yep, this is the future. Like, I don't want to hit a blunt. I don't want to hit a joint. You can actually get enough fulfilling vapor that it actually feels like you're smoking. At least that's what I try to develop with the Vortex. But we can get into that later. And it's just an overall a phenomenal fucking experience, man. And just like you said, Jerry, before I knew about other vaporizers just in the portables. That's exactly what I have is the Mighty, the Dynavap and the Sticky Brick, and the Starry Night from Planet of the Vapes, or the Starry, not Starry Night. That's a good painting though, by the way.
That name gets me every time, man.
Missed it. Sorry, I was coughing my face off.
The Starry Night. That's awesome.
Yeah, the fucking Starry Night. But this Mighty is the only thing that can actually make me put down the Dynavap, just simply because it's battery powered, temperature controlled. That's literally the only reason.
It's such a wonderful.
Dynavap is no joke, man. I think everybody should have a Dynavap. Whatever
I agree.
Decide, everybody should have one, man. That's my slogan for Dynavap. Everybody should have a Dynavap.
I tell people constantly, the Mighty and the Dynavap. I tell people, if you're not afraid of a little torch, you should own a Dynavap.
100%. And they just did a live today where they just released the Apollo from Lucid Customs. So now everybody has the opportunity to get an induction heater. Now, obviously, the Dynavap is a batteryless vaporizer, but they're even adding even more modulation to the fucking vaporizer that now you can have a desktop unit with a plug-in fucking induction heater is another more convenient way to heat up your Dynavap. So even if you are afraid of the lighter, plug this fucking thing into the wall and have a good day.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to getting my induction heater.
I got 3 of them, and I still prefer the lighter only because I can control the volume of vapor much better with a single flame torch lighter.
Bro,
Yeah.
induction all day over here, man. I never use a torch anymore.
Really?
Especially now that I have 2 that are calibrated a little differently, like I was telling you. I got a low and a temp induction heater, one of each. What do I care, man?
That's fire. Now let me ask you guys this question. I've always wanted to know, and I'm sure there's a lot of other people who wanted to know. How many vaporizers do you each have? Troy, how many you got? And Jerry, think about it while Troy's trying to think about it.
Man, I recently organized my shelves, and had everything kind of organized in a way where it was almost sort of countable. And I tried to count, and I lost track at like 205.
Nice.
And as I was putting away, I realized that there were still more vapes that I just didn't even pull out.
So
like
over 200.
Yeah, it's more than 200. But you know what? Jerry has a more thorough collection. Like I have a lot of vapes that have variations. Like I did a lot of like testing and
version 1, version 2, version 3.
Yeah, well, Jerry has a lot of that stuff as well. I somehow ended up with more of it from different places, and unreleased vapes. Vapes that never saw the light of day for good reasons.
Wow.
Yeah, man, and you can pack that many on those shelves when they're smaller like that. Because I mean, there are a lot of portables. That's been the bulk of your stuff. I mean, you look at these shelves and they're, I mean, well, hell, those are all desktops. Those are all desktops. Those are all desktops. Vap caps are there, and then it's portables and grinders. So
how many you got, Jerry? Give me.
I have no idea. Before I did this, I had these shelves, but before I arranged them and had them, something worth looking at, they were just packed with fucking vapes. And I went through them, and at one point I was like, what do I even have here? And I counted up 100 different, different vapes, like not same color, not same model, not just, I had 100 different vapes. And that was just on the shelves. And then, I had some more boxes that you don't get to see. And then I've got crap in there. So I don't even know, man. But
you got probably over 200 too.
I don't even know. But
I don't even know.
What you see is the good shit. Like, I mean, I'm just showing you what's worthy.
Okay.
So
this is people ask me all the time. If you had to live on a remote island and could only have one vape, or if your house was on fire and you had to run out and you're only grabbing one vape to use, and
what are the power restraints, or are there none? I can assume electricity just for the sake of argument, or
basically, like when I did this thought experiment, I said, if I'm on this island and I can choose any vape, and I know that vape is going to last forever. Like if it's battery driven, those batteries are going to be good forever. It's never going to break down, blah, 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 blah. And I have infinite weed. What vape I want.
Well, but if you're on an island, there's no electricity.
See, you gotta remove all of those.
Yeah, we're going to do it by batteries. He just said you got all the battery life you want. So I have a vape. I mean, most of my favorite vapes aren't battery powered, but if we can assume that I can get them powered on electricity, just like your battery powered vapes. And
you're going to take your herborizer.
Oh yeah. I mean, I use it so much that it's got to be that thing. I mean, there's others that I like. I mean, the Mighty is always a top contender, and it is because it's so versatile. I mean, if we were going to be on that same island and be throwing parties every Friday night with strangers, because they're stuck there too, then but then that's the whole private island thing. I'd grab the Mighty. So
yeah. My end is the Mighty. Like I would take the Mighty.
Yeah, it should be in everybody's conversation.
Actually, I would. I guess if you said all power, though, I mean, goddamn.
Yeah, but you got to stay in your wheelhouse. You know what I mean? And you don't have quite the experience, but still within your experience, what would you grab? Forget what else is out there. What would you grab based on what you played with?
I mean, based on overall performance and what I really love, I'd grab the Vortex with a Dynavap Timmy cap all motherfucking day.
Right on, man.
But I'd also be grabbing the motherfucking Mighty. So,
yeah, man.
So, I got big hands, motherfucker. I'm taking a big foul grab. a big foul swoop and fucking
That's
grabbing.
funny.
But no, if it would have to be like one overall ever, like you can never use another unit again, it would be a Dynavap all day for me.
That's always such a tough question, and because Troy, we consult people all the time on what's the best vape for them, and it really comes down to what their usage patterns and what that involves, not just when do they use it or how do they use it, but what are they using, and and who are they using it with, and all that gets taken into consideration. So you ask me, I want my favorite desktop. You ask Troy, he's on the Mighty all day long. He has to clean that thing every fucking week. It's amazing.
Yeah, I use the Mighty so much that I've developed and optimized how to clean it, and I've published that content on 420vapezone.com
Nice.
and YouTube. So if you're a Mighty owner, I will teach you how to get the best experience out of it. But the thing with the Mighty, and like you said, consulting with a lot of people and helping people find the right vape for them, the Mighty checks a lot of boxes. And what it does so perfectly is it removes the vaporization questions out of the equation. Mm-hmm. It's a vaporizer that you can just turn on with the push of a button, put your weed in the bowl, which is, you're already familiar with it. It's got a bowl, you pinch your weed and you put it in the bowl and you put the lid back on and you vape it. You really don't have to learn a lot of stuff. And
they always ask you, what do I do? And you just go, you just suck on it. I mean, there's nothing to do. It's easy.
That's what's also.
That was inappropriate, Jerry.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry. I say it all the time.
The Mighty is very user friendly. You plug it in, charge battery, turn it the fuck on, and pick what temperature you want to use it at.
And consistent. That's the big thing. Is you get the same thing every time. You know what you're getting. Nobody's ever surprised.
Yeah.
If they are, it's almost always user error or it's a malfunction. But it's never the vape sucks.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. This Mighty was. I mean, my man Greensville. Shouts out to Greensville on fucking Instagram. Gifted me this Mighty, and this thing is absolutely fucking amazing. Shout out to fucking Georgia Dynavap, because the Dynavap is fucking amazing. But they're just two different worlds. I love it. I fucking love it.
There are so many vapes out there, and in our upcoming episodes, we're going to be talking about so many different vaporizers and so many different cannabis experiences. In our actual next episode 2 of the Modern Cannabists, we're actually going to be talking about the actual different types of vapes and the different types of vaporizer technology. So conduction, convection, hybrids, desktops, inductions, nuclear powered, star powered. We're gonna talk about all that shit.
But let's be clear here. This podcast isn't just for talking about vaporizers, right? We're gonna talk about more stuff. We're gonna talk about entrepreneurship. We're gonna talk about meditation. We're gonna talk about going to the motherfucking gym and eating healthy. We're just gonna talk modern fucking cannabis. This is almost 2020. Okay, we're going to talk about how we incorporate hemp, whether it's THC or CBD, into our daily lives, and just talk about life and just talk about shit, man. Not
right on, man. What modern stoners do.
Yeah, not literal shit. But
hey, man, I was thinking if you guys are cool with it, we could, I could at least go ahead and end on a hit from the stage over here if you want.
Take it out, Jerry. Take us out with a hit.
This is my herborizer. I want you guys to see how I like to vape. Basically, it's got a bowl up here with the weed, and then the heater is just a real small heater that goes right on top. And then between hits, I can take it off and stir. And it's a joy to use that way. All glass, nothing but glass going on here. But anyhow, I did something that is pretty cool. Let's see how you guys can. If this works out, I'll be able to show you what ABV is. Let's see if this will focus in for me.
All right, Jerry, run that shit. Oh, damn, that's cool as fuck. There is no ember in that motherfucker. Yes, sir.
And then I'll give you one more, but I like to stir it because I can. That's the beauty of this is when it's this easy, why not stir it and make every hit as good as it can be? And that's kind of how I've gotten picky with my stuff. But
Yeah, that's cool as fuck, man.
That's nice. That's real nice. So you can find episodes of the Modern Cannabis and more information about the three of us and our websites on moderncannabis.com. You can find Austyn's amazing woodworking and titanium Dynavap stems at simrellcollection.com.
And on Instagram at Simrell Collection. You can also find Modern Cannabis on Instagram as well at Modern Cannabis, where we'll be posting little snippet informational videos, maybe little sneak peek clips of what's coming next week or whatever. Hopefully we can help use Instagram as another way to contact us if you guys want to hear about anything in particular, or if there's a subject that you would like us to touch on.
Yeah, and I've been posting on Fuck Combustion to StickStones, and these days you can check out the content I'm writing on Planet of the Vapes. Got an Instagram out there as well, but I'm excited about getting the word out with you guys through the podcast as well.
Hell yeah, man. And tonight, I've been vaping on the Vortex and the Dynavap titanium tip and the Mighty. Troy, what have you been vaping on this episode?
I've been vaping on the Mighty and the Sticky Brick Junior. And you can find me at 420vapezone.com and 420vapezone on YouTube.
You know what I've been vaping on.
You vape on everything.
That thing is so fire, man.
Don't forget moderncannabis.com for our sequel. What's the sequel? It's like a secret podcast. It's like a secret after hours faded.
That's my favorite one, man. That's my favorite. Let's get faded. That's where I go to beast mode on my herborizer.
Yeah, you gotta hit up moderncannabis.com so you can check out Jerry in beast mode in faded podcasts. You know, I included that in the video, right? Your finger.
Yeah, I saw that, you fucker.
That's fine, man. That's fine.